Hi everybody, Jason Brick with Willamette Writer 2014 here again with another of our speakers. We're going to talk to her a bit about who she is, what she's going to present, and why she's awesome. So real quick, could you tell us your name and where you live?
Hi, yes, I'm Christi Krug. I live in Vancouver, Washington, which is just over the Columbia River from Portland, Oregon. And I live here. And I feel like I've lived here a long time, like 20 years.
That is a shockingly long time.
It is
You're
nowadays.
about my age, so you're going through that thing where you think back, wow, that was 20 years ago, and it happened when I was an adult.
Exactly. Exactly. That's the weird part.
Yeah, it doesn't seem fair. So tell us, Christy, why are you famous enough to talk at Willamette Writers?
Well, I read your questions and I laughed because I went, oh, you had to say the word famous. The other day I listened to this great interview on Fresh Air with Terry Gross, which I think is the real mark of being famous when you're on Fresh Air with Terry Gross, so I'll let you know when it happens. But she was interviewing producer Mike Myers.
Ooh.
And it was a very good interview. And he talked about how being famous really requires a psychic hazmat suit. And I love that. He talked about really it's very hazardous to you and how you think about yourself. And because I'm naturally an introvert and I'm involved in this very public, I'm coaching every day and working with writers and up in front of groups and classes, what's helped me is not to think of it as I'm working towards some kind of fame, but that I'm serving people on this level. And so so immediately when I saw your question, I went, no, I want to reword that. I am experienced in serving people well enough and fabulously enough that I have been asked to be at Willamette Writers. And it goes back about 17 years, the thing we just talked about as far as time. When I first started working with writers, using what I had learned as a freelance writer, and mostly how I learned to break through all the negative blocks that told me I couldn't do this. And I had a lot of that. And so I went through this process of really changing my whole mindset around writing from something that I wanted to love, I wanted to do, I thought I would love, but I was so afraid of, and I would procrastinate, and I would put it off, and I would fear, to becoming something that is a huge part of my life, that is every day, that I have a great relationship with my writing now.
Outstanding. So, and is that sort of what you'll be talking about at the con? What's your presentation?
Yeah, it's very much connected. So I'm talking about slashing procrastination. And so it's really about digging down to the reasons why we find it hard to write. Why are we putting it off? And again, this is born out of my own experiences of finding, why if I say I love writing, why if I'm a writer, why am I making it the last thing on my list that I do ever? After organizing my desk, after all of these things that I don't even like doing. Oh, guess what? I need to repaint this room. You know, all of these things that just aren't even me. So as I was really doing that, again, sort of psychic work, I found some things that really made a difference. And I wrote an article for Writer's Digest, and anyway, I ended up using a lot of that in my book, which is Burn Wild, A Writer's Guide to Creative Breakthrough. And when you dig at that level of finding out why you're doing what you're doing, you do get a breakthrough, and it's great. It's huge. You can go to the next level with your writing.
Great. What's one brilliant idea you'll be discussing in your talk that folks will take away and want to just immediately apply to their lives?
Well, I have several steps, actually, of what you need to do as you look at that procrastination problem. I have 9 steps I'll take you through. But one of the things that people don't realize is that when you're even thinking about your writing, you're kind of paving the way as to whether you're going to procrastinate or not procrastinate. When you think about that next project, do you feel just sort of this internal clenching? Just kind of this fist, you know, you just kind of want to just draw inward, and you immediately feel that. So the procrastination actually happens in your body before you even sit down to write. And so I just really help people hone in on how this is affecting them on this whole complete physical level almost. And when you can recognize instantly what's going on, I've got all of these ways to investigate it, look at it, not run from it, and definitely not scold yourself, because the scolding does no good at all.
Outstanding. So tell me, do you believe in writer's block?
Oh, it's real because we experience it. So whether or not you can, you know, give it a psychological name, the only measure that counts is in your experience. And when you feel like you just can't write, well, that's writer's block enough. And we've all experienced that. And there are ways over it and beyond it and through it and in it. Sometimes you have to sit in it.
Outstanding. So let's wrap up with what do you wish people asked you about more often?
Oh, I love it. You know, that's probably my favorite question that you have, because I see that writing well and living well are intrinsically connected in a way that people don't suspect. And when we first get into writing, we're like, oh, I want to do this thing over here. And we don't realize it is so connected to our whole life, the whole picture, our relationships, the way we spend our time, how we think about ourselves. And so this whole connection as a whole person, how can I live well to help my writing be stronger? And how can I write well? And how can that influence my living? And how the two are interconnected. I love questions like that.
Outstanding. All right, well, that's all the questions I've got for you. I want to make it quick and easy for folks to get an idea of who you are and what you're going to do. So thank you so much for your time today, Christi. And I'm really looking forward to meeting you face-to-face. Well, I guess we're face-to-face now, but in person in August.
Sounds good, Jason.
Thanks so much. Take care.